Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to a Dota 2 Champions League presentation of NaVi versus Speed Gaming. This is Game 2 of the Best of 3 series. Had a very fast and active Game 1. It's very interesting to see how these teams are shaping up with 6.79, having just passed only a handful of minutes before the first game. So, a lot of interesting plays, some attempts at Dundee Pudge hooks, but the dominance remained for Speed Gaming. They took that first game away, and now we get to see if NaVi can come back. Shape up, adapt to what the changes were, especially that Lich ban that we already see because of how powerful it was in the early stages of the game, and from there, just get used to this new meta. So, fun game already. I'm looking forward to this next one, and this time around, I'm going to be joined by a different Go-caster, Skim Gaming. How's it going, man?
Hey man, thanks for having me. Really looking forward to this matchup. Game 1, as you mentioned, I feel like Speed Gaming really had it in all their hands with the Lich pickup, and their rotation felt a lot more smoother than Navi's. So, yeah, looking forward to NaVi maybe shape up a bit, maybe adapt more to the new patch. It's really still new. You could see that Hovals was really not used to playing that lifestyle. It felt like a bit off. So, yeah, maybe this time a different draft. Speed Gaming, also I feel kind of outdrafted them. I think the Clockwork pick was really good against Lifestealer and the Night Stalker.
Yeah, and it turned out to be extremely great against the Bane and the Pudge as well, making sure that they can't really contribute to the fights, and then penning in their targets for things like Chain Frost. It was actually a really solid pick, and on top of that, like you said, they haven't really adjusted the way that you might think they would. Like the fact that Lifestealer went for a 1-1-3 build in a solo lane, it's for the aggression that wasn't really going to be there because of the experience disadvantage, and so it might have not been the wrong choice. Maybe they'll change their opinions on how to play it out, but for right now we're going back to an oldie but goldie pick. Still recent in the meta because of the fact that he was added to Captain's Mode, but a little bit nerfed. We do see the Elder Titan come back online, but I still think the core aspects of this hero make him a viable first pick. He has the amazing potential to clear creep waves, even if he can't one-shot ranged ones, and the natural order as a whole is great for enhancing damage in the midst of a fray.
Yeah, and especially since of recent, teams also play him as a support in combination with something like a Crystal Maiden. So you don't really necessarily have to pick him as a core, like an offlane or a mid hero. That makes him very flexible and very unpredictable, and he's really strong, as you mentioned. So, good pickup here. Interesting draft in general so far. The ban stage completely different from last game around. Bounty Hunter, Clockwork, and Lich now taken out. So that leaves so many popular heroes on the pool.
Yeah, absolutely. But all of them are very understandable. I mean, of course, the Puppy Chen is very well known, the Phonic Bounty Hunter, and the fact that Bounty Hunter has a lot more potential to screw around with the supports on when he goes on the offlane by just standing nearby in the jungle outside of Sentry Ward range. He can really cause a lot of grief by soaking up some experience, and if Speed Gaming isn't 100% confident in their placement of the heroes down on the safe lane, then that's something they have to take off the board. But one thing that I found interesting, last game, NaVi banned out the Batrider as a first ban. They're picking it up now. Now, the big thing here is he lost his base damage, which means he can't lane, and that means that he pretty much has to go in the jungle. I mean, he can, but you can't deny your own creeps with 38 base damage. It just doesn't happen. So, I think they're kind of showing their hand a little bit with the Batrider going into the jungle, and then from here, the Night Stalker could go either or.
Yeah, I agree. I think Batrider really has to go into the jungle. Even though Sticky Napalm is still really annoying to deal with, his base damage nerf was really big, and he's still really good in the jungle. I mean, 8-minute. I think someone posted it on Reddit. You can get an 8-minute Blink Dagger in the Radiant jungle, or
I think it was 9 minutes, but yeah, just about
9 minutes. So
it's not bad.
It's really good. Yeah, it's really good. And Night Stalker in mid, I think it's a good choice as well. Especially, I mean, he's going to go up against a Troll Warlord, I guess. I think melee versus melee is not too bad for him. Could be a lot worse with like Queen of Pain or something like that.
Yeah, the Troll Lord had received a few modifications. Primarily, his Whirling Axes don't do as much damage, but as a whole, he still is a very strong hero. He has a lot of potential to enhance his team's damage in the same way that Elder Titan does. Well, very different way, but in the same mindset. With the Battle Trance on heroes that have no base armor because of the back to order aura, that's just really gonna make it so that it's very hard to survive against them, and that means NaVi has to draft Disables. They have already got the lasso, but they need even more than that. We saw the Bane last time around, maybe we'll see that again, but bottom line is, if they can't survive, then Speed Gaming is going to run away with another game.
Yeah, and Troll Wallet is really good here to punish bad movement. I mean, if Speed Gaming just wins one team fight, the ultimate from Troll Wallet basically ensures either Tao or Roshan. And Navi really have to be careful this time around. I mean, last time around it was really they lost so many pickoffs. They got picked off here and there, and I think this time around they really have to be more keen on getting up their vision. I think you pointed it out last game around there weren't really too many wards up, and I think they really have to be prepared. Yeah, against that, especially if Sing Sing is going to pick up that Mirana again. They really like to play that hero. They have picked up Mirana in, I think, the last 10 games, almost.
I mean, he's very, very good with it, and it is another one of those versatile heroes that we see Navi run it on the off lane for Funnick. We see Speed Gaming take it in the mid lane for Sing Sing. Different things like that can make it work very well. And it's even a great tri-lane farm prioritized hero, semi-carry, I guess you would say. And it's just because of the flexibility and the potential to chain disables, there's a lot to be said about it. I'm not sure if it's the right pick here, considering they already drafted the I wouldn't say hard item reliant heroes. Elder Titan can do a lot with very little, but at the very least Troll needs a lot of farms, so they might do better to pick up some supports. I do love their bans though. Taking out first the Chen, and now the Enchantress and the Bane. What does Puppey play? I mean, there was some theory crafting about maybe Puppey's Lycan coming back because of the changes to the jungle, but I don't see that happening in this game.
Yeah, I really like those bans as well, and especially also the Bane ban out in general, because Kuroki really likes to play that, and it's really good pick up against the Troll Wallet because of the disables. Navi go for Nature's Prophet, which is kind of strange, because usually I would have said Bat Rider, Funnick, Nightstalker, Dendi. Now the Nature's Prophet, maybe it's a position 4 Nature's Prophet. It has been quite some time, but it's still feasible, I guess.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible, but if he can't transition into jungle, I don't really see that as being nearly viable. You're not going to be able to go Midas. You have to go a very gradual mech, because the Bat Rider, like we said, is going to probably be taking up at least half that jungle for the first 10 minutes of the game. So I would more likely see this in the off lane or in a solo mid position, and as a whole, that just kind of changes how the hero feels as far as what he can accomplish throughout the game. Right now, Speed Gaming have a lot of cool openings for themselves. I mean, of course, they already picked up the Troll, the Elder Titan Crystal Maiden combo that you were talking about, so great supports. They have a great core hero to follow that up, and I kind of feel like their lanes are just a little bit better founded.
Yeah, so far, I really like Speed Gaming's draft as well. They're really well run. They can still decide whether they really want to run the Elder Titan as a support or as a core, but in general, it's really well rounded. Maybe could even go aggressive, even though aggressive Trallian might not be as feasible as it was before, but technically they can still go for it. Elder Titan on an off lane is really annoying to deal with because of that spirit, and with the lane equilibrium now being pushed towards you, towards your off lane, I think it's going to be even harder to play against that, so maybe that's an option. Maybe even a dual lane.
Yeah, there are definitely a lot of different ways to run this. We already saw some unorthodox laning last time around, and I wouldn't be surprised to see it here. We do see Keeper Light for a little bit of push, counter push from Coddle himself for NaVi, but that still leaves plenty of heroes in the pool for Speed Gaming. I'd actually like to see something new. Like, I was kind of theory crafting a little bit about the potential of a core disruptor. Already used to be run on the mid lane in the rarest of occasions and do pretty well because of the damage of his Thundering Strikes, but now that he has the reward, the return of getting like an Aghanim Scepter that can do so much against heroes that would normally just BKB out of his abilities, I actually think that it could be a really cool pick and counter out things like Recall, things like Bat Rider Blink, things like the Nature's Prophet Global Teleport. So maybe not something they're considering, as it is still very premature in the stage of 6.79, but I think it would be a cool pick.
Yeah, I think it could actually work, very well. The Glimpse is really good against Bat Rider, Nightstalker, and Nature's Prophet, as you pointed out. And you can really slow down the aggression from Navi if you pick it up, because Nightstalker wants to run in, you just glimpse him away. Bat Rider blinks in, glimpse him away. It even breaks the Lasso, so that could be a good pickup, but then again, if you want to run him as a core, I think you kind of need to have practiced it before you can really run it, and not sure if they just want to throw it in here right now, because if they do win this, they are just out here with a 2-0 win, so maybe let's just go for something safe with the Alchemist.
And so what they can do right here is run the Elder Titan, Crystal Maiden, and Alchemist in a tri-lane. Of course, Alchemist can technically mid, but I think Troll Warlord's a little bit better suited for that solo mid role. So they can take that tri-lane either defensive or aggressive. I think they prefer to run it defensive. And then from there, they just have to pick up an offlaner for Bone 7.
Radiant team banned.
Yeah, there are many options, but I think a tri-lane seems like the best idea. Just play it safe, especially with the Alchemist. I mean, we know that if Alchemist gets farm, he's just going to be a beast. So with that Grieval's Greed, probably max, because they can't really contest it, if you think about it. As we mentioned, the Bat Rider and Offlane can't really stay. Nature's Prophet could technically pull, but with Crystal Maiden and Elder Titan, those treants are going to be killed quite easily.
Yeah. Now, one thing that was very significantly changed about Alchemist with this patch is the ultimate. The Chemical Rage no longer grants increased HP statically. It actually just increases his HP regen more dramatically. So, comparatively speaking, his early ranks in Ultimate, like level 6, is more effective because you only have to be damaged and in the fight for like 7 seconds for that HP regen to pay for itself, compared to that of the static HP. But when you compare it to like his max level potential at level 16, it actually gets a little scary because that 750 HP loss means he's going to have to buy some HP item. Maybe just something like an armlet to go along with that HP regen, or maybe something bigger like a heart. But either way, he needs a little bit more tank, especially now that they bring in the gank-oriented Nyx Assassin to the table.
Yeah, he really needs to tank up because, as you mentioned, he's going to be a lot squishier than he used to be. To be fair, aside from the Nyx Assassin, they don't really have that much burst damage. I mean, of course, you have to channel that Keeper of the Light Illuminate up, but in general, I wouldn't say this is the worst lineup against a Alchemist. And Speed Gaming, go for an Enigma. So Bone 7 on this Elder Titan, offlane, maybe?
It's definitely possible, or they could... No, yeah, that's probably exactly what they're going to be looking at here. I mean, we did see Fnatic yesterday doing a little bit of roaming with the Enigma, and it was the Naga Siren for No Tail, but in this case, Crystal Maiden, and that did work out for them pretty well, but that was already based on the fact that most of the heroes were invested down in towards the bottom lane, and the Enigma's on the Radiant. So I kind of feel like this is going to be more static than that. It's going to be the Enigma in the jungle, most likely, and then, like you said, Bone 7 could be running on the offlane.
Yeah, and looks like Hovos will be playing that Night Stalker as a carry on the safe lane, and Dendy on the Bed Runner in the mid lane. I think he's going to have a tough time against Sing Sing. Sing Sing can always throw out those axes to secure last hits and even give Dendy a mischance, so I think that's going to be an interesting matchup in the mid lane.
So thank you guys once again for tuning in to the Dota 2 Champions League. One thing I want to remind you about real quick is that if you guys want to talk about the match, although Dailymotion doesn't have the dedicated chat servers, you can go over to Dota2Lounge.com, check out the Dota 2 Lounge match page, and there is a chat available there where you can discuss the match. So just as a nice little reminder, if you miss your Kappa spam, that's where you can find something similar anyways. But going through the rosters to start off this matchup, looking over at Speed Gaming, we're going to see Pylai on the Crystal Maiden, looking over at Eternal Envy on the Alchemist. That will leave Iowa 2000 on the Enigma, Sing Sing on the Troll Warlord, and currently on the offlane, Bone 7 on that Elder Titan.
And on the Dire side, it is Dendy picking up the Bad Rider, Hovos, as mentioned, on the safe lane, Night Stalker, Kuroki once more in the Nyx Assassin, Poppy playing the Keeper of the Light, and that leaves Sonic on the Nature's Prophet, already sending out treants to scout and be annoying in general.
Yes. So, as far as this mid matchup goes, I'm kind of looking at Dendy to maybe get a few last hits with Napalm, but have a very rough time of denying his own creeps. Only 3 stats with the branches. He's going to be looking at 41 to 45 damage, and of course you can't get Napalm on your own units, so that is going to be very difficult to actually limit the Troll's farm, even if he gets some of his own. He was pulled 3/4 of a tango to allow him to move towards that bottle, but a reminder is that not only does that cost 50 gold more, but the ground courier will remain so for about 3 minutes, so that means that it's going to be very difficult for him to sustain on the lane if there is movement from Speed Gaming towards mid.
Yeah, interesting that nobody has tried to punish that. I mean, we've seen last year in G League, Al-Jadi Int actually went for a lot of courier snipes in the early game, but now with the courier, kind of nerfed that you can't really upgrade it, I think that would be a lot better right now. But oh well.
Still certainly a possibility for the Prophet with the global teleport if the Troll Warlord does go for the bottle, but they have to have really good vision in order to make that work for them.
True. And it looks like Navi is running an aggressive Trident after all. They have rotated out and sending both supports and Night Stalker to the bottom lane. And Kuroki is already warding the enemy jungle, so looks like Aoi will rotate into the enemy jungle.
Yeah, actually that's probably going to be his best bet. It means that the Nyx Assassin isn't going to be leeching his experience as he clears the jungle out easily, and of course he will have access to the various camps, which I think 3 are blocked off right now with this magic bush ward. So yeah, in this position it's the best movement, but I think Navi are already aware of his change in positioning, and they might adjust based on that. Actually, Havos taking a Frostbite. The concoction is skilled, but they're not ready to go on him just yet. I mean, he has 5 base armor and a stout shield, so he's going to be in an okay position there.
Again, in general, I don't really think that Havos should go down here. I mean, he's going to take a lot of harassment, especially with his concoction. Oh, it's actually playing on Puppy. Yeah, he's going to take harassment, but they shouldn't really be able to kill him. I mean, it's 2 versus 3 after all, and Navi have a lot more burst damage, I think.
Dendy taking a couple last hits from the tower, maybe just trying to bait Sing Sing a little bit further away. He doesn't have that magic stick, and now he's stacking up the napalm a little bit further, but Dendy is in a pretty low HP position, has to watch himself using that bottle as aggressively as possible, but we are going to have a little bit of pause coming out from Havost. Not sure if there's some problems. I know he was having some network problems before, and some significant latency that forced stand-ins previously, but right now it's kind of a crucial point in the game, 2 minutes in, with a lot of aggression across the board.
Yeah, and Denny, he's looking to get good harassment going. He doesn't have flame break, so there's no... I don't really think he can kill Sing Sing right now. I'm surprised that Sing Sing didn't go for the magic stick, as you mentioned. It's kind of the basic item to get against Bat Rider. Maybe he didn't expect this this matchup. Maybe he expected a Night Stalker in the mid. I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of possibilities. Personally, I don't prefer to tri-lane Night Stalkers because of how reliant on experience momentum he is. And along with that, we talked about how the Bat Rider has his weaknesses in the jungle. So he probably felt that worst case scenario, if the Bat Rider is in the mid lane, he wouldn't have to have a magic stick to survive that early on. He still will get one, of course, relatively soon, but it's not going to be like the most immediate thing, as he's pretty confident on the lane right now.
Yeah, the magic stick is already in the career. It just delivered something to Bone 7, that's why it's not in the mid lane already. I think actually the Night Stalker on the tri lane, or at least on the dual lane, kind of works okay, especially with the Keeper of the Light. You can just spam the Void and just get the mana back from Puppy. Kind of like the Phantom Lancer in the tri lane, but yeah. It's nice, I guess. Could be a lot worse, but in general I agree. He really needs the levels, and he doesn't really get those on the tri lane.
So do you think it's worth it right now? Alchemist is currently only sitting at 5 CS, 1 point in Grievel's Greed, but they haven't really harassed him down too much. Do you think that it's worth trialing the Night Stalker just to put the pressure on Eternal Envy?
Currently it's not really paying off, especially since the 2 supports from NaVi are not really getting anything. Whereas Aoi, of course, is in the enemy jungle and just farming away, and Enigma is one of the fastest junglers, if not the fastest, so it's not really worth it. I think it depends on the rotation from NaVi, meaning Kuroki maybe going into the mid lane and getting a few ganks here. Otherwise, this tri lane is not really paying off, I think.
Okay. So in this position here, I would have to say that it's going to be on Navi to kind of strike the first blow. They have very high potential heroes in the right circumstances, but they have to be in the right position for it. The Night Stalker most likely needs nighttime just to actually be able to move slower than a crawl, and also that Bat Rider needs a Blink Dagger. If they can just get those and have Funnick very active with his global teleport usage, they can go for 3v1 kills very, very frequently. But if they just let Speed Gaming farm up, that Alchemist is going to get huge, that Troll Warlord is going to get to a point where he's highly contributional, not just with his ultimate, but with his own right-click damage. And then, of course, the end result of the Enigma's farm, which is amazing black holes, potentially with bonus damage from that Ags now.
I'm not sure he's actually going for the Aghanim's.
Oh no,
I mean,
probably
I
not for a while, but maybe as a third, a core item or something like that.
It would really have to go very late game. I think there's lots of items you should pick up before that. Maybe even go for the mech in this game. Not sure if maybe Elder Titan's going for it, but in general, mech, Blink, BKB should be before any other item, I think.
Yeah. Now, one thing I want to kind of talk about is the contrast between the Crystal Maiden pick and the Keeper Light pick and what they provide. Right now, Pilot Eye has his point in Arcane Aura at level 2. That is providing mana regeneration sufficiently for Alchemist to stun a few times here and there, and for Troll to use his pretty cheap spam, the Whirling Axes. Along with that, Enigma has his Clarities, might be going for a Soul Ring, so he'll be fine on mana, and then it comes down to ET and how much he wants to use that Spirit. So in my opinion, getting all that mana regen across the board, getting just that little bonus for every hero, is doing a lot more than just infusing over and over with Chakra Magic. Right now, Keeper Light's only level 2, so Chakra Magic is rank 1, and all it's really supplied is a couple of Voids and 1 mana burn. I understand the mentality behind it, draining your opponent's drive, but right now they've only eliminated the threat of the Crystal Maiden, which isn't that much of one at all.
Yeah, but you also have to think about the aspect of the counter push or the anti-push. With a Troll Warlord in your lineup, you kind of want to go for pushes or 5-man pushes because, of course, the ultimate is just very strong. And I think Keeper of the Light is a good hero to at least delay it a bit or at least punish them and hurt them a bit. In general, I agree, though. The Crystal Maiden is a very popular hero at the moment because of that aura, I think, and because of the Frostbite. So, yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, you make a great point with the Keeper Light counter push. The Eidolons, farming those up a little bit will be a pretty big deal. But the problem is how much time they're actually going to buy with it. If they're going to just try to turtle and get Night Stalker to some real level of core, or if they're going to put out that aggression pretty much as soon as that blink comes up. Because in my mind, I feel that NaVi, although they have heroes that can farm pretty readily, they don't need to. They have almost all the utility around the 8 to 10 minute mark, and from there they just want to kind of socket to Speed Gaming, get in good positions, make sure they don't get thwarted by a massive black hole from Aoi 2000, and from there, I think they actually just can gain momentum of their own rather than just turtle it out.
Yeah, I agree, and especially with very mobile heroes, I think they can. They don't really need to turtle. They can just move around the map. They can make so much happen. And as soon as the Aghanim is up on Chavos, which I assume he's going for, maybe after the BKB, if he chooses to go for it, I think then NaVi can get some good map control going.
I'm also trying to think about the investment that the Dire has put into warding right now. NaVi has placed 1 Observer Ward on an easy camp that lasts 7 minutes in total, and along with that we have the 4-minute sentry on the Magic Bush that will negate potential for pulls, but as we mentioned at the beginning, Aoi immediately circumvented that by just forming a 1.5 lane, so to speak, up on the top, and that puts a little bit more pressure on Funnick, and it means that they're going to still find all the levels that they were looking for. So in that position, do you feel it's worth the gold that they put into it, and more importantly, in my opinion, the cooldowns?
I think it's not really worth it. I think they should have seen it coming that Aoi was eventually going to rotate into the enemy jungle, and I think blocking the pole camp is not really that viable anymore. I mean, with the nerf now that you can share the XP, or, well, yeah, that you share the XP, I think you could even contest it, especially when you have a Keeper of Light in your team, and maybe get a bit more gold going, so not sure that it was really worth it, but NaVi will have thought it through.
Yeah, of course. They're still getting something out of it. They're getting Enigma away from the lane, and that means they don't have to worry about a 3v3 engagement for a very long time. They can kind of put their efforts elsewhere. Also, mentioning this ward positioning, the Dire Observer Ward by the top rune spawn actually should see this courier coming, but I believe they're being very cautious with it. Like you were saying, they've delayed it a little bit, but he wants to make sure Nature's Prophet can't TP before they start moving it about, because that snipe is just too painful in the early game.
Yeah, and Sing Sing even moves back so that nobody could spot out the courier delivering him his items, so Funnick will not be able to snipe that one out, and 3 minutes will be, well, over soon, so flying couriers galore.
Yeah. Very, very crucial game sense coming from Sing Sing and his team, and now they will be able to make sure that the core can't drop down. Now we do see some good harassment from Dendi, but he has exhausted his whole mana pool and will have to tap into his rune to be able to sustain much further. Meanwhile, it looks like Troll Warlord isn't even going to bother with a bottle. Just go for a kind of phase boots magic wand build, and he'll be able to get all the charges he needs from Batrider alone.
Yeah, I think that's an okay choice. He doesn't really need to go for the bottles. And I think he will be okay with this. Interesting to see that Pilot actually did pull on the bottom lane. He dewarded, so, well, this pull camp. It's really weird looking at small camp right there.
Yeah, it is. It's going to take a while to get used to, but yeah, all the same, they're just trying to take out a couple of creeps here and there. And the neutral experience they gain isn't great, but the fact that they deny those creeps in the first place is pretty crucial.
Yep. And once more, Dandy harassing Sing Sing a lot. But he's not going to get the kill. Doesn't have enough mana for Flame Break.
But the nice thing about this, he does, when he pushes out, he uses Firefly, he clears out the creep wave, and he harasses back Sing Sing, guaranteeing the rune. And now he can pop it, try to make something happen up on top. Not necessarily guaranteeing it, because obviously Aoi has already retreated out of the jungle, but just forcing them back, and even forcing out a TP from Bone 7.
Yeah, this is really great awareness from Speed Gaming. I guess Sing Sing just notified them that Dandy is missing, and he checked the top rune. Since they didn't have any ward, they just both retreated, and this is a really smart choice. On the bottom lane, though, Kuroki getting frostbitten. Does he have another stun? Yeah, he has Impale, but there's no follow-up right now.
Yeah, he actually didn't even use the first one, but the boots advantage is only going to give him so much against CM. Forcing her off the tower, going to maybe try to, just clear out the creep wave with Illuminate, and now they will be able to put very large amounts of damage in the tower, and actually try to dive underneath it to try to find Eternal Envy. So we've seen this before. The Acid Spray into the tower might not be the best move if they can't pin him down. Funnick teleports in. They get the Void. They do have the body blocks and the vision, and that should be a kill onto Eternal Envy, but he's not going to go down without a fight. Pops that stun onto Funnick, who's taking a lot of damage, but there is the Illuminate to clean it up, and now they change their target over to Aoi 2000. Caught inside the Sprout. Havos and Kurokai cannot right-click, but I think they got enough in just from Funnick's auto attacks there. So that is 2 for 0, and more damage on the tower, as I was mentioning.
Yeah, that was a really good rotation from Funnick. Getting him being there was really important because those trees tanked a lot of the tower, and of course the Sprout was really good as well. I'm not sure why Aoi TP'd, because when he TP'd he didn't have a lot of mana. He was still level 4, so no Black Hole was there, and Crystal Maiden or Paladai wasn't even in range for that as well. So I'm not sure why he TP'd, because he just gave away just another kill.
Yeah. I mean, they were very aggressive, and multiple stuns from the Malefice could have a lot of potential down there, but yeah, NaVi obviously coordinating their dives. They never just dive for no reason. They go in, and they have a great intention, and they know that they can accomplish just that. So it worked out very, very nicely, and now they have some great early momentum that, like I said, I think they need in order to make sure they control this game.
He was very close to getting stunned by that concussion, but instead it will be...
Wrath of Nature on the self-stun. They have the vision and now are diving deep. This Void will connect onto Paladai right here to clean him up. No problem at all. It looks like that is going to be the escape of Eternal Envy, though.
Dandy is coming in, though.
Oh, might get the lasso off here. Onto Bone 7 if they need it. No, don't even. Havos barely survives, but not for much longer with the concoction flying out and netting the first kill of the game for Speed Gaming, but he slowed down with the Napalm stacks, and that Firefly will successfully get the kill. Aoi 2000 right-clicked a bit, but I don't think they're going to have enough tools to finish this off, and indeed TPs are coming from the Troll Warlord trying to clean up on Kurokai, but I think they can retreat with the kills remaining 5-1.
Yeah, that was a really good engagement from NaVi. They did lose Havos, but they got so many kills in return. They forced rotation from everyone from Speed Gaming, and this puts Dandy a bit closer to his Blink Dagger.
Yep, that's going to be really, really good for their initiation. They pretty much only need that Blink Dagger, and they can act like that all day long. They can dive under towers, they can feel confident in their follow-up burst, and they can just pretty much run all over Speed Gaming before they can get all their ducks in a row, so to speak.
Looking on the Radiant side, in terms of items, there's not much picked up. There's Phase Boots up on Eternal Envy and the Soul Ring up on Aoi 2000, but aside from that, they didn't really farm that well. I expected a bit more coming out from them, but guess the momentum is into NaVi's favor, and actually Sing Sing did go back for the bottle build.
Interesting. So he does have that available. It's not going to help him much here. We're looking for that lasso, but the range nerf is actually costing him the ultimate, so he doesn't connect with that, and it might be better that he didn't, because a full 2v3 engagement there would have actually been very unfavorable. They had the darkness, they had the smoke. You can't dodge what you can't see, but Speed Gaming were still very ready for it with two heroes right behind Sing Sing.
Yeah, that was really well, smart move by Speed Gaming. I guess they expected it to be happening. Also, they have wards up on the bottom river. I think they might have seen someone smoke.
Yeah.
I'm not sure though. So
at the very least, they saw the darkness, knew what it meant, and their spidey senses tingled. So they will keep everybody safe and sound for the moment, but I think the biggest thing they need is a pickup of a mechanism. Not sure if the CM's unreliable gold buff will be enough for her to pick it up, or if it's just going to be for that Enigma ASAP, but they really do need that to survive throughout these team fights.
Yeah, I think it has to be the Enigma. He should be able to farm it up in the next like 5 to 7 minutes. He's going back for Tranquil Boots. He can disassemble them later.
No, he cannot. Actually, they did change that.
Oh no, they changed that. Yeah. Huh. Well, then it's going to delay the mech quite a bit.
But it does give him much needed movement speed. I mean, you don't just get the blink for the black hole, you also benefit a lot from a good range on Malefice. So if you can get that movement speed, walk around with 85 plus movement speed, you're going to be able to get the Malefice off on any target you choose. And that can help out a ton against a lot of these different targets.
True, very true. And I like this move coming out by NaVi. I was about to criticize the lack of vision, but they just dropped 2 observers into the camps just to block them, and this is going to prevent Enigma from farming even more.
Yeah, so that's going to be pretty brutal for him. And on top of that, the one camp that did spawn between the wards, friggin' mud golems spawning in where the easy camp used to be. It's a nightmare for any jungler that's not based on auto attacks. So, yeah, they'll clear that out eventually, but for right now, they feel pretty useless as far as moving Enigma in the direction he needs to for his ultimate.
And NaVi, Dandy does pick up his Blink Dagger now, so I think come next nighttime, aggression is going to be a lot bigger from NaVi. Maybe even now with the smoke, maybe, but no smoke picked up.
Not just yet. I mean, they still are lacking a little bit as far as damage goes. They don't have the Vendetta. Actually, Nyx Assassin went for the Tranquil Boots. Pretty interesting pickup. I'll have to consider that in the future, but it does leave him a little bit dry on mana if the Coddle isn't right behind him with the Chakra. But speaking of the Coddle, only 2 points in the Illuminate. Not bad for just counter push and harass, but when you're trying to go for a big team fight, you want as much damage output as possible. And now we do actually see movement of Smoke of Deceit on everybody but Bone 7, who's dueling it out with the Nyx Assassin's Illusion.
Yeah, and NaVi spot him out, of course, with the Illusion, as you mentioned, but they might walk into trap here because half of Speed Gaming is smoked up here. And they spot out the items.
They do have Black Hole. This is pretty big if they can get in the right position for it, but NaVi has a great spread right now. Nobody in a dangerous position, nobody very vulnerable, so they can have one person farming up top who can TP in at any second, and the rest of them just keep a good spread, keep a good position, and look for that blink initiation.
Yeah, but at the same time, they're also wasting a lot of time here from Speed Gaming, of course. Speed Gaming just rotated with 4 heroes without accomplishing anything. I mean, they do secure the farm on Eternal Envy, who's sitting in the mid lane, but that's also a Troll Warlord that's not getting any farm.
Yeah, he has a little bit going for him right now. The Treads, the Wraith Band, it's not bad, but when you look at the total net worth charts, he's not as high as he would prefer to be. He's actually sitting around number 5, so could be doing a lot better. Instead, it's Funnick, who's all over that. Actually, probably going to pick up a Midas in just a few seconds.
Yeah, he should be. And he has to be careful because, yeah, there's a concussion.
Yeah, he's going to fly,
and
but
they can't really kill him.
Yeah, the one thing is that Eternal Envy, despite being under pressure, went for a very farm-oriented build. Actually, Kurokai with that Vendetta sees the Courier, gonna get that kill, and try to walk out of there with the TP scroll. Might not be able to, though. The Frostbite is in pursuit, and he doesn't have that Vendetta up for some time, but the Recall is there. No player-based damage. They don't get the Nova, they don't get the Spirit. It was on cooldown, and Nyx Assassin gets away just barely in a bad spot. Now, Dendi forcing down on top of Sing Sing. A lot of damage coming on top of him, and they should finish him off, yeah, just inside the fire. He's in such a weird angle right now. Life-stealing Magic Stick, but he does fall in the end. Now, recalling in Havost, he wants to go on the front line. They know that Hour 2000 is too low to engage in this fight, and with the Haster and Dendi wants one more kill. Pilot Eye, 2 stacks, 200 HP, but he gets the Frostbite on Dendi under the tower almost, and he does turn around for the kill. So Batrider falls. Funnick falls being chased down by the Elder Titan, actually, and Bone 7 claims 1 kill in return. So they do finish off Enigma, diving him all the way down to the fountain, but they lose 2 heroes in turn.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was actually worth it, but it was really fun to watch Havas just run straight past enemy lines and just go to the enemy fountain for one last void. Really strange engagement with starting off with the Kuria snipe and then the pulling Sing Sing up to the cliff. That was really just kind of Navi-like.
Exactly, yeah, that's a great adjective to use in the future. It's just Navi-esque. It's they go in, they create a lot of chaos, and they make sure that even if they don't have full control of the fight, neither do you. And so I think there are a lot of unnecessary deaths as a whole, but NaVi pretty happy to get some more kills on the board right now, but turning around, Sing Sing missing a lot because of that blinding light, but he should finish off Puppey with one more right click. No, he can't get Enrage. Trying to toggle. Pilot Eye trying to use that ultimate, and the Flame Break will actually cancel the TP. Sing Sing wants just one kill, but they won't let him have it. They lasso him, they bring him down, and CM and Troll both go home with nothing.
I just love how 3 of Navi's core heroes just completely ignored Puppey and were like, yeah, he's dead, just let him die, and just focus on the CM, but Puppey actually escaped there, so that was once more a really, really good trade for Navi, and they secure basically the enemy jungle, and can look to maybe pressure this bottom tower.
Those new Tranquil Boots still give you significant, like 60-some movement speed when they're broken. They're not like the old 25, so he actually is able to get out just barely with that base MS, and of course the Tranquils giving him a little bit extra. Actually, movement on top. This could be big. Perfect timing of the auto attack with the Shadow Blade, and Eternal Envy picks up a beautiful solo kill on a little bit greedily farming Funnick. I can't fault him though. I don't imagine most Prophets would avoid that creep wave at that HP level, but it's just Eternal Envy's movement. Great timing on that Shadow Blade, and immediately puts it to work.
Yeah, this is much needed for Speed Gaming. They really need something in their favor, and Eternal Envy is the one that's actually getting some decent farm, or actually good farm. Looking at net worth, he's up there with all those Navi heroes, so with that Shadow Blade and probably going next into maybe something like an AC, I think he's going to contribute to team fights a lot. Smoke
breaking. There is going to be Dendi blinking away, but Kurokai doesn't get the memo. He pops his Carapace to survive a little bit longer, but he's in over his head, and he should drop right here. 3 more right clicks flying in, and that's going to be his death. Dendi looking for a lasso, just coming off cooldown, and he will choose Sing Sing, but the Black Hole gets Havost caught inside it, not the Bat Rider. Wrath of Nature goes across to get a kill, but Havost, last right click, and he will earn! He earns and survives, but Pilot Eye getting right click down. Double kill for Funnick, and Dendi's not done! Oh, that Shadow Blade changes this situation, so wow. Wow. Havost walking away with like 6 HP, earning to survive that last auto attack.
I can't believe that Navi still won this team fight when, as you mentioned, Kuroki didn't get the memo that they wanted to disengage. It felt like, okay, they're going to get Kuroki here and get a good kill going, but Navi somehow turned it around and almost wiped them. That was really close to team wipe.
Wow. That is just, we were just talking about Navi's play. The chaos ensues, and they just flourish in that environment. Now Nick's popping the Vendetta, looking for another opportunity, but he doesn't really have any solo kill potential, so I'm not sure if he thinks he's going to find a courier or what, but only has about 15 seconds left on that Invis. Counts out Pilot Eye. Why is he going for this? Like, it's Mana Burn, the right click is there, but oh wow! He's actually able to get it just barely, and TP is away successfully. And that's the problem currently with, I mean, it's level 7 Crystal Maiden with 4 armor from the boots, but the momentum is there for Nyx, and he had just barely enough damage, so kind of surprised me that he could get a kill like that without something like a Dagon, but he pulls it off nevertheless.
And also, little cute play coming out from Navi here. Kuroki TP'd and got recalled by Puppey, so he was effectively recalled to the bottom lane, but with almost full mana and all new items he wanted to pick up, so kind of cute play.
So right now, obviously the Shadow Blade pickup teaches Funnick a little bit to fear the darkness, but Nyx answers back in turn. And it's just that little bit of extra damage that's enough to finish the job, and he's going to keep on doing that. Now that he has one solo kill, he's going to get another solo kill and just keep on ramping up the momentum, and at the very least force him to pay the support tax, force him to buy sentries all over the map to make sure these ganks don't continue.
Yeah, and looks like Navi will trade Roshan for tier 2. I think Speed Gaming, they're really happy with this trade. I mean, of course they're giving away an Aegis, but if you think about it, they're lacking so much in terms of gold. They really need this tier 2 tower right now.
Yeah, I can see it both ways. Generally speaking, most pros are happy to trade a tower for a Roshan. They're happy to get the Roshan instead of the tower, because it is a huge advantage for the ensuing team fight. But in this position, you're absolutely right. They need gold. They need to get something big on Enigma and on their cores. So I can definitely see the benefits of it if they take the tower at all. But right now they have the counter push coming from Kurokai and mostly from Puppey, and that's keeping the tower alive, while the Roche very, very slowly falls. Right now, claimed by the Dire, and the Aegis going to Havost.
I think that's one of the slowest Roche kills I've ever seen. I mean, it's really, Havost during nighttime, it's just hitting like he's 80 years old.
Yeah, it's the Daywalker there, but, you know, slow and steady wins the race. They do break it down, and now they have that Aegis for the full 6 minutes to be even more aggressive, if that's possible. I mean, we just saw him diving the fountain to get the kill on the Enigma earlier. We'll see what he can do with this Aegis.
Yeah, and then he now picks up a gem. Or actually it was purchased by Puppy, but he's going to be the one that's wearing it. And I really like this idea, like this pickup. Just getting rid of all the vision that Speed Gaming has. And in addition with the Night Stalker, of course, I gotta say, come next nighttime when Havost has his Aghanemus, Speed Gaming is going to be really sad because they won't have any vision around the map.
Yeah. So this is a difficult position for them to be in there. Without the... They're pretty much always going to be fighting 5v6 with the Aegis, possibly versus 7 with that buyback Nature's Prophet. And in general, they are just kind of pinned into a corner. And like we were saying, they need to round out and farm in more directions, and they're just not finding the opportunity right now.
Yeah, and it's Navi again on the aggression. They have an Invis rune on Dendi, they have the Vendetta up on Kuroki. Sadly, Speed Gaming rotates top, but yeah, that's their saving grace, because otherwise I think that would have been another engagement where they would have lost at least a support hero. Yeah. And Kuroki now picks up a Yule Scepter. I like this pickup actually. It gives him additional movement speed, and I think the Yule's is kind of nice against the Enigma. He doesn't. I think the cast range is kind of enough to not be in range of the black hole. So good pickup, I guess.
Yeah, definitely a potential pickup against him. Also can just take out one of the 2 carries out of the fight since they're nowhere near BKB just yet. In fact, neither seems to be interested in picking that up. So in that position, yeah, exploit it. Get that opportunity. And along with that, he can go for more gutsy plays like we saw down on bottom lane, where he goes in, he gets a 3-man stun, and despite the entire team going on top of him, he has the Spike Carapace, he has the Yules, and it makes him a target that nobody wants to focus.
Exactly. Meanwhile, Navi take down the tier 2 tower bottom, and Speed Gaming can't really trade. They don't really want to as well, and all TP, well, 2 TP back already, and Navi's just rotating into the mid lane right now, and I guess they will take the tier 2 mid as well.
They will put pressure on it at the very least. They do lose Funnick, at least for the next 15 seconds. They might not fully commit to this push, but they are just kind of showing that they have the map control. They have the gem, they have the towers, and they are going to make sure that Speed Gaming doesn't have a chance of leaving their hole. But anyways, Eternal Envy is trying to disprove that theory. Gets a single right click off, but realizes he's up against a Blinding Light. He's up against a Lasso, and he's probably going to get dropped right here. Dendi connects with the Lasso, and he's just going to get right click down from there.
If this was intended by Puppy, I gotta say this was probably a play of the week, just pushing Envy up the hill so he couldn't go anywhere. And of course he had to try to the TP, but against Bad Rudder that's almost impossible.
Yeah. Surprising level of movement control and positioning control from Na'Vi with the Blinding Light, with the Flame Break, with the Lasso. They have a lot of ways of putting targets in a bad spot, and from there they're pretty easy to pick off. But we do see a big pickup for Havost, going for the nearly rushing the Aghanim's. He goes for a Phase Boots Urn drum build and then follows up with Ags. Then we talked about the vision advantage they had previously with Darkness. Now they have an immense, almost map hack level advantage with 1800 flying vision for Night Stalker during night.
Yeah, I remember when it was implemented into the game, some people just texted me when like, dude, Night Stalker Ultimate is now a map hack, and it really is. Just the vision is insane, the flying vision, and it's going to be really, again, this nighttime is going to be horrible for Speed Gaming. They really have to tiptoe around, and they're already just grouping up as 4, and this is a very difficult time. I can't really imagine playing like this because it must be, well, not really terrifying, but really annoying.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it is not only annoying, but I would consider it terrifying. You look at the vision that Radiant have, you switch over the vision, you say, okay, well, they have their tower, their creep lane, and their heroes, and they're all huddled up trying to just survive. They're going to go for a smoke, maybe go for a blind pickoff, but as a whole, they don't know what's going on at all. They have to lock onto somebody in order to actually get a successful engagement. So they're trying to make something happen, but we look over the dire vision. They have Havost with his Aghanim Scepter. During the daytime, Dendi's Firefly sees considerable amount of flying vision as well, but unfortunately he doesn't see this coming, and if Aoi 2000 could just get in range for the Malefice, it is going to connect, and despite a nice Force Staff, he should fall in a moment.
This is a huge pickup for them. Not only is Danny, of course, a very high priority target, but he also drops the gems, so Speed Gaming taking a bit back in terms of map control, but at the same time, of course, with the Nature's Prophet on the map, they getting split pushed.
Yeah, exactly, and it wasn't even the Nature's Prophet's TP, it was Puppey using that recall to great effect, and they are actually going to be able to put huge damage on this tower. Pilot Eye getting nuked hard! The Illuminate will not go the right direction, though, and the mechanism keeps them alive to head back to the fountain. That's their cue to head out of there, especially with Avos being on such low life. But no, he wants to use that Aegis. He's playing around with Sing Sing. He's like, come at me, bro, please. I'm ready to go with full HP and mana. And now Aoi 2000 gets stunned on the high ground, throws out to that quick little void, but that Aegis, again, is going to expire in maybe less than 20 seconds now. So he's going to just fall back and get that regen rune buff. Yeah, 5 seconds from now.
Yeah, I hope he knows about that. Well, he'll see it in like 1 second right now. Oh, it's really actually the region rune buff.
So, it's pretty nice for them, and that brings them back to keep pushing, keep being aggressive, and meanwhile Funny gets to do his thing up on top tier 1. So this is a continuous gold advantage for Na'Vi, and very little that Speed Gaming can do against it. They do pop the dust, maybe can do something to Funny, but they don't get in range with Pilot slows, so the best they can do, get the deny, and fall back from there.
And Phonic could be very lucky if he just went a bit down the river because there's a region rune, but now he just gets recalled to the bottom lane and they get to continue this annoying push again.
Very annoying. There is going to be a great stomp on 4 people, but I don't think they can follow with the black hole. If they had a blink dagger, Aoi would be so on top of that, but there's that farm disadvantage. He has the mech, he has the tranquils, and even the stolen gem, but no blink, no fight.
Well, even if he did have a blink dagger, I don't think they would have engaged there because NaVi didn't have a TP up until now. He just bought one, so they would have fought without any damage whatsoever. They might have gotten the troll, of course, with his walling axes and nice burst splitter, but in general, I really think they need the alchemist there.
True, it would have been a lot more even than they would have preferred, but you gotta take what you can get. Right now, they're not getting anything. The push continues. I'm actually surprised they're not poking, prodding, and sieging the range racks because it cannot regen at all. But if they can finish off this melee racks before it starts regenerating, then they're going to be in great shape. So putting a lot of pressure out. They're trying to force the fight here, but for the moment, just falling back. There's some treants. Aoi 2000 has only 385 movement speed, no blink. Funnick gonna get recalled in a moment, just gonna TP back to the fountain, but that's the cue to initiate. Dendy getting bursted down hard, Puppey slowed, Funnick brought in when he didn't want to be, but might be able to actually dodge away from Funnick. There's a Sentry Ward down, looking to get the stuns, but they actually cannot find him in the tree line, and now they're pretty spread out. Kurokai looking to get a really good stun off, they only cripple Aoi, and from there, they cannot initiate.
There was really good movement from Eternal Envy, TPing to the tier 2 mid, or tier 3 mid, something around there, and just going for Dendy. They just focused everything on Dendy, because with Dendy down, they can't really re-engage, because Dendy is like the playmaker of Na'Vi right now. Not only because of his playstyle, but because of the hero.
Absolutely. So it's just a difficult position to siege in general, because of the fact that they have so much counter push with the Elder Titan and his Ancestral Spirit, and that means they had to make something happen pretty quickly. They forced the rotation from Speed Gaming, but they took their opportunity. They found a small window of opening, and they obviously did a lot with it. Alchemist's gonna do the same thing he's been doing on Funnick up on the top lane, but not really getting anything out of it.
I gotta say though, Speed Gaming bought themselves a lot of time right now, because the night, of course, the normal night only lasts 4 minutes right now, so I think it's going to be daytime soon once this ultimate ends, I think. Is it actually still the ultimate? I'm not sure. Either way, yeah, Na'Vi is going to get another Roshan, but I think, yeah, Speed Gaming bought themselves a lot of time. Yeah, Natural Night in about 10 seconds here. They will get the Roshan, however, and that is going to be another big advantage for them. But actually, we see it coming in. Eternal Envy tries to take a peek. The Sentry Ward's there, the Hex as well, and that is 1 free kill, 1 free Roshan, and another Aegis on Havost. I want to say that was very naive, and, well, I mean, you have to expect the Sentry Ward to be there when you take Roche, so... Yeah. Giving away a free kill feels like it. It's definitely painful for him because he needs to keep farming. He only has Shadowblade, Assault Cuirass, and Phase Boots, and he has that max Grateful Grease, so that's a lot of gold that he is just kind of throwing down the drain, unfortunately. So he was ambitious with it,
It just was a complete mistake, and we'll kind of leave it at that. But now we do see at least some pressure coming out from Speed Gaming up on the top lane. They know Darkness is on cooldown. It is daytime. It is technically their best opportunity, but they have to get Eternal Envy back up first.
Yeah, they really do. Navi going for some sort of, well, we just want to push and end this game kind of item pickups. 2 Necro Books, 1 on Dendi, 1 on Puppy, and I assume Funnicus is going for 1. No, screw that, he's going for damage, but still 2 Necro Books,
yeah.
So they really do want to get this push going.
Necro Books highly benefit the push, but they're no slouch of an item no matter how you look at it. Actually, we see the initiation blink comes in, they are going to just obliterate Pylite Eye, no chance at all, and there's actually a stun, and then a sheep onto Enigma, no chance for a black hole here, and instead, he's just going to get bursted hard, tries to turn it around, but no chance. Eternal Envy gets blinded, not doing any damage to Funnick, and now forcing the buyback from Aoi 2000. But do they have the follow-up? Is the Earth Splitter going to be there? We'll see in just a moment. Aoi 2000 trying to avoid their cripples, their hexes. Just trying to push them off the racks. Fortification keeps them up a little bit longer, but finally it will fall to the Necronomicon Warriors. Eternal Envy gets a double stun on Havost and Dendi. They both get destroyed by the Earth Splitter. They're making this team fight happen one way or another. But now Havost is back up in the action, knows that Sun's on cooldown, and goes on top of Aoi. Buyback from Dendi, going deep, trying to bring down Aoi before he can use the black hole. Kurokai gets the stun onto Sing Sing, and that's going to be 1 kill, if not multiple. Right now, Aoi turns around and instead gets shredded. Lasso comes out onto Bone 7. They get more kills, and there's the GG. Navi turning around for a 1-for-1. We're going to game 3.
Yeah, and wow, this was really great play by Navi. Just super high aggression throughout the whole game, and also a lot of map control. And I gotta say, this game kind of showed that Night Stalker definitely ban-worthy, I feel like. I mean, the map control that Navi had was just immense.
Yeah, I mean, it was ridiculous. I think the real cool thing is that they picked up the Bat Rider and the Night Stalker. I would feel that Night Stalker is kind of a soft counter to Bat with that darkness, limiting his range of initiation by knowing where his opponents are. But picking them both up means that they have the huge vision advantage. They did lose the gem pretty quick, but they recovered it, they kept their map control, and it just starved out 2 very, very farm-reliant heroes. If they were just 2,000 gold richer on each member of Speed Gaming, completely different game. But right there, Navi kept the pressure on, and in 30 minutes, they take the game 21-8. So that is it. We're going to game 3 in just a little bit. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Dota 2 Champions League. Also, shout out to Dota Talk for setting me up with casting this and helping out in this. Also, shout out to you, Skim, for co-casting it up with me. Hopefully you enjoyed this game and will join me for the next one.
Yes.
As far as social media, if you want to check us out, over at twitter.com/blazecasting. I'm Blaze if you didn't catch it. And I would be happy if you guys tweet at me, throw me some feedback or anything else. And I'll catch you guys on the next game. Do you have anything you want to add, Skim?
Yeah, you can check me out on Twitter as well, at Skim Gaming. And yeah, I'd appreciate some feedback as well. So
Cool. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Exciting game 1, awesome game 2. Let's see what they have for game 3.